Mr. Tom Daves, he's now become one of my best friends on the planet, as well as the rest of my organizational senior and junior partners. Let that soak in for a minute, right? Some of my best friends on the planet are in this room now. And if this was about the money, this is not what this is about. And this guy has really become a close friend of mine. I was nervous to talk to him when I first met. You know, when Don introduced me and said, hey, one of my best friends on the planet is Tom Daves. He was the #1 Keller Williams agent in the world. And, you know, I was a little nervous. That's a big thing, right, to meet him. And I want to share a little story before I bring him up here. When he transitioned over to EXP, I told the story yesterday for those of you here, but when he transitioned over, he did a little post that said, hey, I'm super excited about EXP. You know, I was with Keller Williams all these years. I was an owner, but I'm going down a different journey. I wish them well. But, you know, I've been the #1 agent 5 times in my career, and I'm just super excited about the next journey. And he got a little nasty gram from somebody over at the other office saying, hey, you can't say you've been the #1 guy 5 times. You can't do that. You got to take it down. And so he goes into the garage down in the basement and starts stacking up trophies of #1 in the world, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And he goes, you're right. I can't post that. I have to post I've been 7 times #1 agent in the world. So give it up for Mr. Tom Daves.
All right. Woo-hoo. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Woo-hoo. Awesome. Super. I'm honored to be here. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Isn't this just wonderful, beautiful place in God's majesty? I mean, just take a moment and breathe. Isn't this really amazing? So thank you all. Thank you, Randy. So I'd like to start off with a story when I first started in real estate. It was 1977, probably before most of you all were even born, but we kept it simple. My broker said, remember, I basically got into the office and he said, here's your desk, here's your phone, good luck, you're on your own. So I'm like, okay. But he did share with me 3 things. He said, #1, always ask for the order. #2, be consistent. And then #3, follow up. At that time, I was just like, okay, yeah, those are 3 bullets, big deal. But as I continued through my career, I realized how important those 3 things are. And then, of course, I learned, you know, it's all about 4 things. #1, it's all about mindset. Think big, go big, growth-minded mindset. #2, how we spend our time, extremely disciplined, doing the right things in the right order. You know, the Pareto principle, 20% of your activities need to be where you're going to get 80% of the results. #3 is who you spend your time with. Thank everyone for coming here because you all want to grow, you want to reach your full potential. And that's my goal, that's my big why, is to serve God, my family, my health, all of you to reach your full potential. So, and then not only to connect with others, learn from others, grow from others, I would constantly go on events to connect with other top mega agents to learn. And then the last is just take massive action. So it's mindset. #2 is how we spend our time. #3 is who we spend our time with. And then #4 is just take massive action. So today I'm going to share on follow-up. That was one of the things my broker said that I needed to get down, right? So, and I'm sure you've all heard the fortune is in the follow-up. Have you all heard that? Yeah, absolutely. So to be honest with you, the more that I'm in this business and with leadership, I learned that that is probably one of the biggest problems and mistakes that real estate agents make. And I'm, you know, the same way. I mean, let's face it, we suck at follow-up. I mean, how many of you have hired some agents on your team and maybe they'll call a client 1 or 2 or 3 times and they just don't follow up? Same way with agent attraction, reaching out to other agents. How many of you have, you know, you have someone in your database and then all of a sudden you're driving home and you see a for sale sign in their front yard. You're just like, oh, what's up with that? Hey, it's your bad, right? Because you didn't follow up. How about this? How many of you have maybe wanted to call someone to join EXP, and then all of a sudden they say, hey, I'm so excited I joined EXP. You're like, ah. Or you have spoken with them before, and they joined from someone else. So that's your bad. That's on you. So there's two reasons that there's two problems that we have with follow-up. Number one is we don't go the distance. It takes 7 to 15 touches to convert, someone to make a decision. 80% of decisions are made after 7 to 15 times, right? So why don't we do that? So number one is we don't go the distance. Number two is the methodology. So more on going the distance. So I'd like I'd like all of you to just kind of share, hold up on one hand, how many times that you normally reach out to people in your follow-up system for agent attraction. How many are 1, 2, little participation, 3, 4 times, 5. How many go 10? How many go 15, right? Whatever it takes. I love it. Absolutely. So we have to realize that it's consistency. We don't go the distance, and so why don't we call? Why don't we follow up? Well, I think a lot of times, Glenn shared it last night, we prejudge. Oh, well, they're not going to want to come over to EXP, or no, they're killing it, or whatever. We prejudge, right? Or number two, it's our own ego, right? We have to let our ego get out of the way, because that's not going to support and provide your family the future, and you're not going to be able to leave a legacy. So I'd like all of you to right now just write down one person that you need to call today. Take massive action. Who have you not called because you didn't have the huevos to do it? Just write it down. Put it in your phone. Just write it down. So today, before the end of the day, I want you to reach out or text me or tell one of your accountability partners, hey, I called Mark Spain. I called Chris Waters. I called, whoever. Someone big. Go big. Don't prejudge, right? So I'd like to share another story. Another reason why we don't follow up with people is because we're distracted, and then also because they're distracted. We live in a distracted world. For example, we'll call someone, we'll touch base with them, write their name down. Brent Gove puts them on a yellow pad. I don't care. Put them in KV Core. Put them in a CRM. Put them on your wealth chart. Put them on your list so you follow up with them, because we're distracted and they're distracted. For example, I'm a cyclist. I ride road bikes, mountain bikes, and I wanted to buy an e-bike. So I went into Victory Velo, and I wanted to buy a bike. They didn't have the one I wanted. Of course, I wanted to get the top of the line e-bike, specialized S-work that has all of the bells and whistles on it. They didn't have it. It wasn't there. But they had such excellent follow-up, they stayed in touch with me. And so I got my bike about a month ago. It's over here. Woohoo! They followed up. By the way, it's $15,000 bike, right? And because they followed up. And I sold my wife on it because it's safer, right? She's like, how much are you spending on that bike? 50. It's safer. But they continued to follow up. Thanks, Brad. I appreciate it. I went into other bike. I was distracted. I've got ADD, squirrel. I went to a lot of other bike shops and talked to them about a bike, but they called and they followed up. How many of you have gone into a store and they haven't followed up? It's key. So number one is we don't go the distance, okay? And those are the people that I call red zone. Those are the people in your red zone. So what's red zone in a football game? Who watches football? Yeah, in a 20, right? So those are people in your red zone. You need to contact those people, and you need to stay in touch with them. In fact, I have a goal every single day. I'm sure you all know about Andy Frisella. He's done the, he coaches the 75-day hard. Have you heard of 75 or you've done, who's heard of 75 hard? Yeah, who's done it? Well, good job, those of you. But he also shares the power list. And the power list is what 5 activities are you going to do every day that are going to move the needle, dollar-producing activities. So for me, and I have an accountability partner, otherwise I'll be doing burpees. I hate burpees. So for me, I do 2-10-40 for new contacts. And these are big, icon producers, team leaders, independents, or production teams. So 2 a day, 5 days a week, 2 of those. And then also, that's number 1. Number 2 is 2 follow-up calls a day. 2 people in my red zone. So I do a 2-10-40 people in my red zone, follow up. Number 3 is 2 support calls a day, someone in my organization. Hey, how you doing? How can I help you? How can I support you? And then from there, one social, 1 video a day. And then the last one is usually some type of a nutrition thing. I'm doing the intermittent fast, or I was before I got here, right? But so then those are the 5. So 2 new contacts, 2 follow-ups in the red zone, 2 support calls, and then a social media video every day, 5 days a week. And then the last one is whatever you want. But make it yours. Make it your list, whatever you want to do. So let's get to, so number 1 is we don't go the distance. Number 2 is we don't have the methodology. So methodology is just basically we don't know what to say, and we don't have a system to follow it. In fact, those are the 2 biggest things and the problems why people have call reluctance. They don't know who to call, and they don't know what to say. I mean, you guys agree? So you need to know who to call. Have your list. Have it ready. Do a little research on them. I don't do as much research as Don Yoakum, but I do a little research and give them a call. So know who you're going to call, okay? And then number 2, know what you're going to say. I mean, just whether it's inviting them to an event, inviting them to a 3-way, inviting them to Tony Robbins' Build, right? Cabo. I mean, we had a luxury event last week in Granite Bay. Just call them up and know what to say, know who to call. And then, of course, obviously, it's about creating that relationship, creating the rapport, creating the connection with them to solve their problems, and then provide value and share your story. It's all about your story that you can share with them. Facts tell, stories sell. And as Gene said, get deep into their problem and their big why, and connect with them and really help them solve their problems. So, and as Randy mentioned, the systems, just call, text, email, Facebook message. One note, it used to be that agents they would change brokerages every 7 years. Then it was 5. Now it's actually every 3 years an agent will change brokerage. So just stay in touch with them, stay in the flow, and then do not fumble. Don't leave an appointment without another appointment. Book that appointment to connect with them, again, whether it's a 3-way call or another meeting with them. So one thing I like to always ask myself, because I get envious, I think we all kind of get envious of others, and but lately I've been turning my envy into intrigue. I think if we can turn our envy into intrigue, ask yourself, like, hey, Brent Gove, and I ask him, or ask myself, what is he doing that I'm not doing? Always ask that. What are they doing that you're not doing? So I actually asked Brent, what are you doing that I'm not doing, or at this stage of my business? And I called him up today, and he said, number 1 is accountability. Have accountability. Have an accountability partner, and if possible, make it 3 of you. a cord of three strands cannot be easily broken. And just invite. I mean, you know, Brent, invite people. Go big, go all in, have massive action. We need to book a room for, if you don't have Cabo, do it, just make it happen. Just show up for Build, for EXPCon. So I'm all in. I'm just committed to all of you, to support you. You can call me, text me, email me anytime. My Calendly link is tomdaves.me, because like Gene said, it's over. I mean, it's over. We are such an amazing company. So that's it. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
Woo!